What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for joining me. First of all, before I even get into the video, let's shout out to my boy Mark. Salute. He let us borrow his 2020 Road Glide special for this conversation that we having today. This is not a debate. This is not a back and forth. This is just a conversation. So this video's been done 100 times already, but there's a few things that I never see anybody hit on when they go over the same video. I decided, hey, I might as well talk about it because, you know, when you experience something that nobody's talked about, you might as well say it, right? So this is what I got for you guys. I tried to be unbiased as possible. So I have my boy's bike that is immaculate. I think this bike, if I was to get a Road Glide, this would be the one I would get. The color, everything, it came together perfectly. Just how I like my Street Glide is how much I like his Road Glide. I think those colors, those specialty colors that Harley comes out with are perfect. So let's dive right into it. There's only a couple of facts that I really want to give you guys that even matter, that mean anything, okay? Shark nose fairing, that's what this one's called. This one's called a batwing fairing. Whatever. Independent forks, okay? That means they're not attached to the front end. That means if I turn the handlebars, the front end doesn't turn with them. My bike, batwing fairing, if I turn the handlebars, the whole front end turns, the headlight, everything turns, okay? This bike is about 30 pounds heavier than my bike, but you never know it because as soon as you get on a Harley and get it in motion, they all feel the same. One thing I will say is I felt like this bike was for a taller rider. Everything is more recessed, so everything sits a little further away from me, so it's a little bit more of a reach. Now, I'll tell you this bike is a little more comfortable, okay? It has a more of just a real relaxed feel to the bike. Since the front end is further away, it's more like I'm controlling it from back here and I'm watching the front end. Like if you were driving a car, the front end's a little further out, so you're watching the front end of the car, right? Same thing. My bike, I'm a little bit more in control. I feel everything right here on the handlebars, so I feel like I can maneuver my bike a little better. So do you want the comfort or do you want the maneuverability? Just my opinion. I could be wrong. The bikes are a little set up a little bit differently. I have bars on mine. He doesn't have bars on his. But a lot of the guys with these bikes don't use the same bars as a guy with a Street Glide. These use a little more like a bigger bar and a more pullback bar because it already comes with that type of a ride. Street Glides, they're already in an aggressive position. Just my opinion. I feel like it's aggressive. If you look at it this way, the police, their bikes are Street Glides. They don't ride Road Glides. I don't know the reason for it, but if I had to guess, it would be just for the same reason I'm thinking. I feel like I can flip and dip this bike a little bit better than if I were on this Road Glide. Now, I'm sure there's guys out there that can scrape and do everything on a Road Glide that you can with a Street Glide with just as much ease, but just for me, I thought it felt a little different. Now, when you see a big tall guy on a Street Glide, he looks a little more bunched up, okay? My thing was, I felt a little more secure being in that position than I would be on this, because if I'm going a certain speed, I need to make a quick move. I don't know if I could do it the same way on a Road Glide. Maybe after I got used to it and got the bike set up for me, maybe probably yes. All right, so now that I went over basically the facts of it, we're gonna go over everything else, all right? So speaker setup, all right? These bikes are basically the same from the key ignition part back, but the speakers sit in front, right? So the speakers on this bike sit up, which I think they would be a little louder of a speaker, okay? That's from a distance. So if we're both sitting on both of these bikes, I think the Street Glide would be louder because the speakers are facing you. And plus you have a little bit more protection for as far as the wind hitting the speaker as it's playing, okay? That's just on the Street Glide. Road Glides have more space. Just my opinion from what I've seen. If you are a music guy, you can put more speakers and more tweeters and everything like that on your Road Glide than you can on the Street Glide. As soon as you get right up in here, you're done with space, okay? Another fun fact with the Road Glide, the gauges are on the forks. My gauges are all on the front dash of my bike, so everything is up front for me. On the Road Glide, you have to look down and look up to see all the gauges, okay? So your miles an hour and your RPMs are down here sitting on the forks that are attached to the fork, and everything else is up top. Like I said, the radio and everything sits a little further back, so that was an issue for me. That's what made me make up my mind. This is the way I was trying to go. It fit me a little better. Shorter guy, stick with the Street Glide. Not everybody needs to do that, so don't take that to heart. Guys, everything else is based on your opinion. Whichever one you like to look at every day, whichever one when you pull the cover off of it or when you open that garage, the one that you think is going to make you smile every time you see it, that's the one you buy. There's no doubt about it. They're both the same bike. You get on the highway, if you think that this bike is going to be any better than this bike, it's not. The wind is going to push both bikes the same way. The Street Glide's even more aerodynamic. So if you really think about it, I'd go and say that they have to be equal. Even though the front end is heavier, this one's a little more aerodynamic. Let the chips fall where they may and make your decision based off of your opinion. All right, so guys, another thing they always talk about is when you're on the highway, okay? They say one's better than the other. I don't see how that could be, but maybe I just don't know. But listen to me. Up front, this is more aerodynamic. There's no doubt about it. You can look at it. It's more aerodynamic. This is flatter in the front, and then it becomes, you know, and then it cuts through the wind. So what that tells me is when I'm riding and I feel a gust of wind, if it's coming from the side, both bikes are the same, right? If it comes from the front, the only difference is I will feel it through my handlebars. When this one has independent handlebars, so you don't feel it through the handlebars. You just feel it in the front end of the bike. So if it's gonna move, it's gonna move. If you're gonna feel it here, you won't feel it in your hands here, but you will here. If that's the make or break for you, that's another key point that you might want to look into. I'm not saying that this bike is not a city bike. I'm not saying that this bike is not a highway bike. But if you look at both of these bikes, they can be used either way. They're both excellent bikes. Like I said, these are Harley's two probably top selling bikes out there. And I can guarantee they can't just go real quickly and show you which one sells more than the other. It's probably impossible because they sell so much each day, right? So whichever one makes you fall in love every time you wake up and you go in the garage and look at it and you kiss it, that's the one you buy. When you go to the dealership, I bet you'll probably know immediately which one you like. Whichever one attracts to you, the one that you're most attracted to, that's the one you go for. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. Any comments, drop it down in the comment section. Like, please subscribe. Tell me anything, any comments you got for me about these bikes, let me know. Okay, guys? Peace.